And David at home is total care. He can't move anything more than his eyes.
Oh. So he's
He
completely
can't even,
paralyzed.
he can't even, I don't think, if I think about it, we kind of turn his head and move his head a little bit when to reposition it sometimes, but he moves, and he still knows because the last time he was in the hospital recently in emergency room, the doctor in the emergency room put his finger up and said, "David, can you just follow my finger?" And he did. He never moved his head, but he followed his finger with his eyes. And so he was able to follow the directions, knew what was being said to him, and
he just isn't verbal anymore. And you said that's due to the brain. This
disease is called Pelizaeus-Merzbacher disease.
Okay.
Pelizaeus-Merzbacher disease is the name of the two doctors that discovered it in 1865 in Germany.
Oh wow. Okay.
Pelizaeus and Merzbacher, and so if you look it up on a computer someplace, you can get away with PMD.
Okay.
PMD disease, but anyway, they were the first in the country to have it. So no doctors around here have ever seen it except for Wally, Tom, and David.
Right.
And Tom lived to be 40. And the other thing about this, which is very important, is that they are non-symptomatic.
Oh.
They do not have symptoms of being sick unless they have a fever, or in these late years, their oxygen level drops down, and we have to check that at home a lot. Their oxygen level drops down. Those are the only two ways that we know they're sick, unless if it was urinary tract, if they had blood in their urine, we would know they had a urinary tract infection. They have no pain.
Right.
They have nothing.
Wow.
And I've had some pretty crazy things happen over the years with them to prove that. Even the hospital was like, oh my gosh, it's like
right.
I can get into that a little bit later maybe, but it's been a life.
Yeah. So
and I'm a very strong Catholic or Christian, whichever way, but I'm a Catholic. But anyway, when I learned that these boys were going to die with this disease at a later age, not as babies, as little kids, my request of God Almighty was to let me take care of them. Yeah. I was never going to put them in a home, and my husband was right with me on that. They were not going in a home.
Yeah.
They were staying home with their family.
Oh.
And that's what we've done. Everybody's gone, but now David and my granddaughter lives with me now. But
wow. So what was that adjustment like? Learning about all this, because I'm sure it's difficult, especially like you said, you had a lot of anxiety.
For 8 years, I had this. They couldn't even title that what it was. They couldn't tell me what it was. It wasn't agoraphobia, but it was a lot like that. But it wasn't that exactly, and so it was just. The last psychologist I saw about it, she sat and listened to me tell my story, and then I only saw her twice. And the second time she saw me, she said, "I don't think you know what you do and what you've done. You don't realize it because you're just doing it."
Yeah.
And she was right, and so she started relaying back to me all the things that I told her about my life and the life with our sons and just everything.
Yeah.
And by the time I left her office, I didn't have that anxiety anymore. It was like I could actually drive myself any place, and or for those 8 years, I was real cautious about being alone with them because I thought they were just, in my mind, they're going to die.
Right.
And I didn't want to be alone with them when they died.
Right.
But it's what your mind does to you in a situation like that. When when you find out that 3 of your 6 children are going to die from this disease that you carry and you can't do anything about. Right. And that was my problem. I was always kind of in control of what went on in my home, and I couldn't control this.
Yeah, and I'm sure that made you feel powerless as a mother because all you want to do is help your child.
I could not control what was going on. All I could do was help them.
Did it ever make you question your beliefs at all? Because I know, if God gives us these challenges, to make us stronger. We
Right.
never know what his purpose is, but it didn't make you question.
No, I never gave up my faith. I never gave up my faith over this. If I wouldn't have had my faith, I wouldn't have been able to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that it was, it's been a life. I mean, I just turned 80.
Oh,
It's
wow,
been
you
a
look
life.
Great. I would not have guessed.
It's been a life. And every time I also lead a TOPS group of ladies.
Yes.
And every time I learn something new,
Mm-hmm.
I go into the meetings, I say, well, I'm still here, girls. I learned something new this week, so I'm still learning.
So I know we talked about you had issues with public, or you do, with them staring.
Well, that was my granddaughter that did.
Oh, granddaughter,
Yeah,
yes.
she did.
Did you notice anything at first?
Oh, sure.
Whether public backlash, family backlash. I know you said somebody told you, we'll just put them on the home and move on, but did you have any other issues like that?
The only nasty thing one person said to me, and somebody from church,
Oh, wow.
was, well, I just don't understand. If you had one son that was disabled, I don't understand why you continue to have children.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I said, and at the hospital in Minneapolis when they were diagnosed, then it was questioned, would I have aborted them had I known they were disabled?
Wow.
Well, the secret to that was no, I'd have never aborted them no matter what. I don't
Yeah.
believe in abortion at all.
Yeah.
And secondly, there was no gene to detect this disease till about 15 to 20 years ago.
Right, and
Was
like
they
you said,
finally got
nobody
the
knew
gene.
about it
Nobody
in the
knew.
US.
And there was nobody
so,
to be tested, to see if they had it in utero or there was no way.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
but I wouldn't have done it anyway.
Yeah, that must be hard, and
It just makes me mad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it must be frustrating to, like we were saying earlier. Like, why is it because my child's disabled, you're looking at them any different?